Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use your initials for privacy purposes, SK, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you signed up for the free TOEFL speaking practice test evaluation. And I'm actually going to listen to your practice test right now. I will also score it using the official rubrics that ETS uses to score the independent speaking task. I will give you some ideas on what you need to do to score higher on the speaking. All right, and thank you for completing this practice test. And I think your question is, you're answering the question about whether you want to study alone or study in a group.
I think when I prepare for examination, I think studying with the group is the best choice. First of all, studying with group, I can learn more background knowledge with them. For example, if I have to know about some questions, I can talk with them and discussing with them to solve this problem. Secondly, we can study more efficiently. For example, if I don't know some questions, I will spend a lot of time. So I think studying with the group is a good choice.
Okay, so now I want to listen to it one more time, and I will make some comments as I go. So typically, if I notice any problems with either delivery, language use, or topic development, I will make those comments as is appropriate.
I think when I prepare for examination.
Okay, you said, I think when the examination, you're either leaving a word out there, you're having some kind of hesitation, so that is a problem with what I call thought groups and blending. So those pauses and hesitations are not, that's a delivery issue you're having.
I think studying with the group is the best choice.
Okay, so I think these conversation fillers, I'm going to recommend that you don't use those. I think it is my opinion that they don't really do much. They don't advance your argument, right? It takes up unnecessary words, and you only have 45 seconds to answer this kind of question, and you've already wasted a lot of precious seconds in the beginning, and you still haven't gotten any details.
First of all, studying with group, I can learn more background knowledge with them.
So if you say studying with a group, I can. If you say if I study with a group, or studying with a group helps me to blah, 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 so your grammar is a little bit awkward there.
For example, if I have...
When you say the word example, not example, it's example, that syllabic L consonant's a little bit hard for you.
To know about some questions, I can talk with them and discussing with them.
I can talk and, let's go back to what you just said.
Some questions, I can talk with them and discussing with them.
I can talk and discuss with other group members in order to clarify my ideas regarding the content that we're studying. So a lot of the vocabulary you're using here is very basic. It's not very precise. So that tells me you have a language use problem with vocabulary.
To solve this problem, secondly, we can...
When you say to solve this problem, what problem? So you want to be specific. You might want to say something like this. If I'm studying in a biology class and we're trying to learn what photosynthesis is, if I study with a group, I can more likely understand the concept of photosynthesis by discussing this with other members. You see what I'm saying? So try to be really specific when you get to your examples. Try to personalize it. Try to mention, in this case, a specific class or the name of a class, and then some type of content that you would like to master in that particular class. And it is that kind of specificity that helps you to score higher on the speaking. So again, it goes to a vocabulary issue.
Study more efficiently. For example, if I don't know some questions, I will spend a lot of time. So I think studying with the group is a good choice.
So if I don't know some questions, I can spend a lot of time if I'm studying alone. So you want to clarify that and then contrast that with how you can study more effectively with a group. All right, and thank you for completing this. All right, what do we have? I think overall here on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, I'm going to put you at about 2.3 out of 4 or 18 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. So that's kind of where you are right now. Delivery, you are having a few problems with delivery, so let me just outline a few things. You might want to take some notes. One of your problems, I think, it's your pacing. It means you have a lot of pauses and a lot of hesitations in there. You need to speak faster and more naturally. So it's a problem of what I call thought groups and blending. You definitely need to solve that issue. Number 2, with delivery. You're also having problems with intonation. Your intonation tends to be more monotone. You need to vary that intonation a little bit more. That's another issue you want to deal with. You're also having some problems with certain vowel and certain consonant sounds. All right, let's go to language use. Language use, I think your biggest issue here is your vocabulary. You tend to use very generic, very basic vocabulary. It's not very precise, and it doesn't help you to express your ideas, at least in a specific sense. So I feel like your speaking right now is limited because of your vocabulary limitations. You're not able to fully express your ideas. Topic development. The one thing you can do with your topic development is you need to create a more coherent organization. You can do this by creating a more sharply focused topic statement. For example, you might say something like this: studying with a group can help me understand the content of my courses, and I can score higher on the tests I'm preparing for. Then you say, first of all, if I study with a group, I can better understand the content of the courses I'm taking. Then you give an example or two there, and then you say, in addition, if I study with a group, I can also score higher on my tests. So you need a little bit better connection between what you're doing in the beginning and then what happens in the body of your response. So you have a little bit better connection of ideas. So I think because of these delivery, language use, topic development issues, you need to make improvements in those 3 areas if you want to score higher than what the score that I gave you. So I put you at around 18 points out of 30, 2.3 out of 4 on this particular practice test. All right? And thank you for completing the practice test. And remember, SK, is I have over 700 vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, listening, reading, writing, and speaking lessons. I have all the lessons you need to solve all the problems I just outlined in this particular video. All right, so if you ever need a TOEFL course, think about my course. Remember, Magoosh does not give feedback. TestN does not provide feedback. If you take the TOEFL ETS course, the online course, it does not provide feedback on speaking. And you could also go to a tutor. You can take a TOEFL tutor, but they can charge up to $100 an hour, which is not what I do. So I want to have an alternative to all these other courses on the internet because I want students to be able to get the feedback they need to get the TOEFL scores on the speaking and writing that they need. All right, and thank you for completing the practice test.